Just other news of the day regarding Eric Branscombe, if you could go.
Yeah, unfortunate. He had a bit of a sniffles, head cold, whatever it was. We got him tested, and he tested positive. So, unfortunate news for him. He was starting to feel good. You could just see it in his face walking around the arena. It's unfortunate, but with the good news, 5 days, he'll be back here shortly.
Just take him right through the rest of the week, Coach.
Well, it all depends what his symptoms and what his energy level is like. I mean, hopefully, what we went through in November, the Delta seemed to take a big piece out of the guys. The guys that the second half here get that what we think is the Omicron seems that they bounce back a lot quicker. A couple guys have symptoms, but nothing like kind of the guys did in November. So let's hope if he doesn't have many symptoms, he jump right back in.
Lassie simply just take his spot on the roster.
Yeah, he will today, but Lassie was coming up regardless. He was coming up. We wanted another look at him here, down the stretch for the All-Star break. By all accounts, he's been really, really good down there, and we wanted to get him up and see where he's at compared to where he was the stretch of games he played before that. So, he's going to get obviously more minutes, and now he'll get on the power play with Brandy out here tonight, but he was coming up regardless.
Colin White was out there today, but he's not anywhere close.
No, he's not, but it was good to have Whitey back. Great energy for the guys. And it's a good sign. I mean, you get out there and you're practicing with the guys, you're certainly a heck of a lot closer. Now it's just, clearance from the doctor and how long and the battle drills and all those things start. But, it's been a real tough year, obviously, for him being out as long as he has.
You played them last Tuesday. What do you have to do better this time around?
Well, we've got to get on their goalie. We had, I think our second most chances of the year. We had all kinds of shots, but not enough from the hard areas. We didn't bear down enough. I don't think we checked hard enough. It doesn't matter who you play in the NHL, whether it's a team like yourselves that's young or whether it's a team that won the Stanley Cup last year. You have to be ready to play every night. And if you're not and your details are not, you don't win in this league. So we got to make sure that there's no letdown coming home here. We've played, I think, 9 and 10 on the road. I think we play 13 of the next 16 at home. We got to get some momentum here, and our MO has to be our work ethic and everyone, not just one or two guys. It's got to be throughout our lineup how hard we play here and second chances, second effort, all these things. If we can do that, we can get winning some games here.
The state of the building, though, you kind of have to build your own momentum, and I don't even know if I'm putting that properly.
Well, it's unfortunate because last year we got used to playing with no fans, but everyone played with no fans, so you built your own game. When you go from playing with fans, a full building, especially Washington the other night, as loud as it was, to coming in here, our home ice advantage to speak of, the fans yelling and screaming, especially after a goal or momentum changes, we don't have that. So all we can do is play hockey and do our thing, but it is unfortunate. I mean, when you see all these other teams with fans, and here we are with nobody.
DJ, why have you moved Zach Sanford up to the top line?
I just think that Norris line has done so many good things for us, but as of late, teams are really checking them and checking them hard. And sometimes, you need a little break to get a refresh. And I think Sanny has got the ability to play right. We're certainly short right wingers, but also he's responsible. He's heavy. And then it gives us more of a 1-2 punch, with Timmy and Batherson and Formanton together. Gives us two more scoring lines than it does just, kind of one and change.
On Stützle, he was talking, I think, after the Columbus game about how coming through the middle, like he wants the puck on his stick. How evident is it from your vantage point on the bench, like a player that knows he's got the confidence to make a play in those spots versus one that's maybe just hoping to make a play?
Well, you can just see it in his face. He's more and more confident every game he plays. The biggest thing for me probably was when it went 2-2 in Washington, he showed no panic. He kept making plays. I think you get young guys or nervous guys or guys that haven't played in those spots. You get in, though, they start flipping the puck. They start taking short shifts. They don't want to be the guy kind of to cost it. He wanted to be the guy to win it. And you could just see it on his face. Again, in Columbus, he's a game breaker. He looks right now like he's got great legs, And sometimes great legs goes with a clear mind, you know, and I think he's feeling good about himself. I think he's feeling good on the power play. And, you know, as a coach, you love to see a young guy having fun out there because, you know, when they're having fun, they're making plays and doing things, and that's what I see with Timmy.
What did he do to have better success in the face-off circle? Was it technical? Was it physical?
It's reps. You look at young guys in the league, most of them, their first couple of years have taken lots of faceoffs. They're in the 40s, some low 40s. And then over time, they get better and better and better. I think if you look at John Tavares as an example, I think he was under 50 for his first 7 years in the league, and now he's a 55 guy or whatever he is. You know, Austin Matthews' first 2 years was under 50, I believe. You know, so it's just reps. You know, I was talking to Davis Payne about it, and we're talking about faceoffs, and he says, you know, he's had, say, 200 faceoffs. He's going to have to get to 2,000, you know, before he starts to really gradually understand the linesmen and all the different scenarios, you know, and there's guys in the league that are just in the league now for faceoffs, and those are some of the guys he's going against. So once he learns all those things, there's a reason he's one of the best players at his age in the world. He'll figure it out.
How would you rate Jacob Bernard-Docker's play in this last little stretch, and what was your message to him when he got sent back in?
I thought he played great. I thought it was a huge step from training camp. I thought his defensive reads were really good. I thought he jumped when he had to. He did so many things, and my message to him was exactly that. The jump he's taken from the start of the year to today is huge. The next time he comes up, you know, how much more can he get? I think one of the things that's got to be said about him is his preparation away from the rink. He's one of the first guys here. He's serious about it. He's physically trained and ready to go. He takes the games real serious. He's not a young guy in that sense. So the best part for him right now, and you know, me and Pierre and the management had talked about it a while ago, that he was going to get a 10-game run. It was it was 8 games, but it was, you know, a couple games got canceled. And then, you know, he needs to still play 25 minutes a night, 27 minutes a night, be on there the last shift, do all those things, and then he'll be back up here. And now it's Lassie's turn again to have a look at him and see where he's at.
And just to follow up on that, what does that internal competition just between Lassie and JBD do if they each know that, hey, I got 10 games here to kind of show them?
Well, I don't know if this time it's 10 or whatever. You know, we kind of looked at this short schedule before the All-Star break for Lassie, that he can play a lot of games in a short amount of time. And, you know, we're at home. You know, we can put him in some good spots. I think it's good internal competition, but at the end of the day, for this organization to take the next step, we know that both those guys, they're not competing against each other. They may be today, but both those guys are going to be on this team going forward, and they're going to be huge pieces of this. And so, yeah, today they may be, but by the end of the year, they may both be playing. You know, you don't know and how they do, but they're, you know, in the future, they're both going to be up here.
My last one for you, where do you see Victor Mete in the final 45 games for your team?
Well, you know, sometimes, to be fair, he gets a little bit lost in the shuffle. He's only 23 years old himself. I think he just turned 23. I think he's played some really good games for us. You know, he can skate, he can break it out. You know, I think we got to be fair to him too. He sat, you know, 5 games in a row or whatever that was, and then he got thrown into a back-to-back in Columbus. So with Branny, you know, having COVID, he's getting a little bit of extended stretch here. He's played with Josh Brown, you know, in that pairing, and so he's, you know, he's familiar with him. We hope he can get to, you know, where he was at the end of last year, which was moving pucks, defending really well, jumping in the rush, checking with his feet. You know, like I said, it's been a little bit unfair to him, but in saying that, now's his chance to prove it.
You mentioned that you got Branson tested because he had the sniffles. Aren't guys like him and Brady that have not gotten it, where they get tested every day?
They get tested. They get tested every day, but we have multiple tests. We have a Lucira test that can kind of find out in 30 minutes. The PCR, you wait the next day all the time. If you have symptoms, we're going to test you quicker. But it would have picked it up. It just would have picked it up a day later or whatever the case may be. So every time you travel, it's got, you know, you have to have a test. So there's only a few of these guys left that can get it. But if there's any kind of symptoms whatsoever, we give you the test that we're going to know in 30 minutes.